But at the end of the day, it is like I said, put the fight on.
Hey, Wack, hey, yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I just wanted to touch on something, man. Look, Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. It is not far-fetched to believe that Terence Crawford has every chance to win this fight, just like any other opponent that he's faced. Now, it's true, Canelo is not just any opponent. And it is also true that this will be the biggest, toughest, and most daunting task of Terence Crawford's career thus far. You're going up 2 weight classes, effectively 3. He mentioned that he didn't even really want to fight at 154. Once he saw that there was a real opportunity to go straight to 168 to fight Canelo Alvarez for 3-time undisputed in 3 different weight classes, he was like, I really just wanted to shoot straight to Canelo, but you know, he ended up having that one fight at 154 versus Madrimov to become a champion at 54. And now he's essentially going up to 168, 2 more weight classes up to challenge a pound for pound great. And I think this is, Terence Crawford, I think this situation is a little bit different than what Jermell Charlo did, because Terence Crawford has shown in the history of his career and the activity and the moves that he's made in his career, his willingness to fight the best, right? His energy towards fighting the best. You feel what I'm saying? And then once he actually got in the ring with the best, i.e. Earl the Truth Spence Jr., we saw what he did. So I think this situation is a bit different than Jermell Charlo just going up trying to get paid, because also you got to look at the fact that Terence Crawford has already gotten a $20 million payday with Earl Spence. He was already making minimum $3 million per fight fighting anybody on Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? So the dude ain't hurting for no money. He actually wants to go prove himself and challenge himself. And then a byproduct of that courage and that determination and that mindset is that you're going to get paid handsomely for it, right? So I think Terence Crawford is actually showing up to win in this fight versus Canelo. And then you couple that with the actual ability that he possessed, the skill set, the experience, the physical dimensions. Yeah, Canelo has fought bigger guys pretty much his whole career. But, I mean, something that you got to talk about is the reach, right? The dude that he just fought, Skull, is a true 168-pounder. But he had 72 reach. He had Floyd Mayweather reach. A lot of the guys that Canelo done fought at 68 have shorter reach than Terence Crawford. I think that's something that you got to talk about, because that's going to be key when you got a guy who, like Canelo Alvarez, who at this stage in his career, he's not a volume puncher. He's really never been a volume puncher, right? But he used to throw way more combinations than he does now. Now he's like a calculated pressure fighter he's like a calculated pressure fighter who's also a counter puncher who just puts mental and presence pressure on you, right? So just his presence alone, his ability to stay in front of guys, he didn't show that really in the Skull fight, but you know, dude was so fleet of foot. It reminded me of Jerome Boots versus Karen Chukazian in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Karen was moving like a motherfucker. Boots couldn't corner him off. You know what I'm saying? That's what that fight reminded me of. It's literally the same fight, right? So, you know, when you got a guy like that, sometimes you're going to have difficulty cutting the ring off. But Canelo is really good at cutting the ring. If we want to keep it 100, he's really good at cutting the ring. When he's fighting a guy that is moving but is also trying to fight too, he's going to have his moments where he can get close to you to touch you. And he even got close enough to touch Skull. He was hitting to the body pretty much, you know, whenever he got close enough to him, he was landing some glancing body shots, right? So Canelo is really good at staying in front of guys, and he puts a lot of mental pressure on you just by being in front of you, because that his presence is so pronounced and dominant is that, you know, guys, just him being in front of you make you get up out of your body. Like you start throwing punches and opening up because you like, damn, he's cornered me. You know what I'm saying? Or his physical presence and ability to stay in front of you can put you on the ropes. You feel what I'm saying? And he getting his shit off on you. So that's pressure, mental. So he can put pressure on you without even throwing punches. And now Canelo's style is more so just staying in front of you, making you open up and make a mistake, and then he capitalized on those mistakes with big power counter shots. You know what I'm saying? Big lefts and rights to the head and to the body. Very calculated, sharp, decisive shots. They are varied. You know what I'm saying? He might throw a left hook. He might throw a straight right. He might throw a right cross. He might throw a uppercut with the left or the right. He might go to the body with a left hook or a right hook. He might throw a jab to the body or a straight right to. He can throw every punch. You know, you don't know which one coming. The only thing is, these days, he only really throwing one or two at a time. That works for him in a lot of cases because guys that he normally fought, the guys that he's fought at 68, the Billy Joe Saunders, the Caleb Plants, the Callum Smith, these guys really ain't, they don't have all of the tools like that. So when you get them in a position where they fighting off of the back foot and they really don't have a whole lot of offense to keep Canelo up off of him or make Canelo respect him, all Canelo gonna do is just continue to walk forward and put that pressure on you till you run out of gas, and then those one or two big shots that he throwing at a time, they start landing and they have big effect because he been saving his energy by taking calculated steps. He ain't breathing hard. He ain't spending too much energy trying to chase you and shit. He just cutting the ring out, a step here, laterally forward. You know what I'm saying? And then once he gets you in a spot and you start running out of gas, that's when them shots start adding up. He either gonna stop you or he gonna win on points because he done probably dropped you once or twice. And on top of that, he's been the one bringing the fight to you, so the judge is gonna like that. The problem he gonna have with Terence Crawford is that Terence, yes, he can move, but Terence with that long reach, the ability to fight out of the southpaw stance, because I think, you know, we know he's a switch hitter, but I believe Terence Crawford is going to take the approach of a southpaw in this fight and use his jab to get over Canelo's lead hand and have that advantage to where he can throw when Canelo throws. The problem Canelo going to run into is that Terence Crawford can punch in between your shots. So Terence Crawford is also a master counterpuncher who can counter going forward and going backwards. You feel what I'm saying? But he's especially good going backwards and countering. So you got a guy like Canelo who in his current state is a less of a combination puncher, a pressure fighter coming forward, throwing one or two shots at a time. It's going to be easy for, I ain't going to say easy, but I think Crawford will have a lot of success setting traps for Canelo with feints, showing something, giving Canelo a look, making him think that something is there when it's really not. And then, you know, Canelo opened up with one of them big ones or twos, you know what I'm saying? And then Crawford, he either gonna throw, he gonna time it so he can throw right when Canelo deciding to throw. And we know who's faster. Crawford is faster. You know what I'm saying? And it's the shots that you don't see that hurt you. So he can get Canelo to open up and, you know, set a trap where Canelo thinks something there. He throws some. Crawford hit him with a quick right when he opened up his shots, or Crawford can make him miss and then counter over the top of that. You know what I'm saying? And then Crawford can also be first. And I think the reach is going to help Crawford be first, be able to get out the way, and then counter again. The hand speed, the reach, the movement, the angles that Crawford going to be able to give. You know what I'm saying? And I think Crawford will have respectable power going up to 168. It may not be Benavidez type power, right? But I think he will have respectable power, and it's going to be whipping shots. It ain't going to be the big thudding shots. It's going to be whipping shots. Shit that's quick, accurate, sharp. You know what I'm saying? Those type of shots hurt when they accurate. You know what I'm saying? That's how Floyd was able to keep guys up off of him, because he may not have devastating punching power, but they were always very accurate and sharp shots. And when you hit them motherfucker on the button, you ain't really got to hit them that hard. They gonna feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? May not knock them out, but they gonna feel that shit. But we know Bud got the power to knock motherfuckers out. That shit that just that just knock your whole equilibrium off. You feel me? So I think Terence Crawford is gonna have a lot of success with setting traps with Canelo Alvarez, and I don't really see Canelo fight off of the back foot. You know, so what happens when when Crawford starts setting shots and maybe make Canelo switch his shit up a little bit, and Canelo start trying, try to keep it in the middle of the ring, which I think Crawford has the advantage there. And what if he take a step back? And then Crawford can come forward on him too and do the same shit he was doing. And I feel like if we see a situation where Crawford is the one coming forward in this fight, that's not a good sign for Canelo Alvarez. So I think, my whole thought process of this shit might sound like it's one-sided, and it's not. I'm just telling y'all why I think Terence Crawford can win this fight. Because a lot of people seem to have this idea that is so far-fetched, like Crawford is just a regular fighter coming up in two-weight class, that he's not a regular fighter, bruh. And you have to take into account the physical dimensions as well. I can see if Crawford was coming up and he was 3-4 inch reach shorter than Canelo. He was smaller than Canelo all the way around height and body mass. And he didn't have no power. Like if it was that, he was just super skilled but way smaller and could knock motherfuckers out, then I would be extremely concerned, right? But this not the case. You saw the face off. You know what I'm saying? I saw where Canelo had on these platform shoes and he was still smaller than Terence Crawford. Shorter than Terence Crawford. Let me say that, right? Bruh, I think Terence Crawford has every ability, skill, and opportunity ahead of him to win this fight. You feel what I'm saying? And I think it's gonna be tough though, because it's still Canelo motherfucking Alvarez. Like, we don't know what Terence Crawford gonna respond like once he get hit with one of them big ass shots. Even the shots that Crawford catch that he blocked, I think he gonna feel those way more than he felt anything else in his career. So I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo land one of them body shots and Terence Crawford have to collect himself, being a veteran and the intelligent fighter that he is, and take a knee to take that time and then get back to boxing. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised at that. But I would not be surprised. And I also wouldn't be surprised if shit, you know how we know Terence Crawford, he got that dog in him. So Canelo lands some shit and, Crawford like, hold on, bro, I ain't finna just let you get that shit off and I ain't finna get my lick back. And he get a little bit too overzealous. Canelo, being a master counterpuncher himself, can catch Crawford with some shit, catch him lacking, and stop him. I would not be surprised if that happened because of the weight. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, Terence Crawford can win this fight, bruh. And if people have him as a favorite, I know from a Vegas perspective, he ain't going to be the favorite because of the weight, right? But if individuals have him as a favorite, it's not far-fetched, and it's very believable. It's very believable. Terence Crawford he can mess around and whoop Canelo ass, bro. I'm talking about some real shit. You feel me? So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. What do you think about the people making it seem like Terence Crawford don't got no chance to win? Like, do y'all share those same sentiments, or y'all seeing what I'm saying, man? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.